Okay, students, today we will continue curly arrows. Curly arrows in chemical reactions, especially in organic reactions. Okay, we yesterday saw that half-headed arrow and full-headed arrow and rules to draw curly arrows or curved arrows. Okay, we took the example of HCl. Now there are certain rules to write the curved arrows. Curved arrows or curly arrows are used to show the movement of electrons. So first thing, the arrow should start from electrons. Okay, electrons may be single electron, that is unpaired electron, or lone pair of electrons, or bond. Okay, second, the head of the arrow should be at the atom or in between the atom. Okay, if there is bond formation, then the head of the arrow should be in between the atoms. The bond is formed between the two atoms, so the head of the arrow should be in between the arrows. Third rule, for single electron movement, we have to use half-headed arrow or fish hook arrow, and for two electrons movement, the arrow used is full-headed arrow. Okay, now let's take the example HCl. Again, yesterday's example. Okay, now I'm going to break this bond in heterolytic manner. Heterolytic splitting or heterolytic bond breaking. Okay, now heterolytic bond breaking, the electron single sigma bond is comprised of two electrons. Okay, and I'm going to break this sigma bond. That's why the arrow should start from the electron from this bond. Okay, and it should be headed at the atom, means these two bonded electrons are moving from HCl bond toward the chlorine, and we get here H plus and Cl minus. Okay, you can see here three lone pairs are already present on chlorine atom, and fourth lone pair is because of shifting of sigma bonded electrons toward the chlorine atom, and we get here two species, H plus cation and Cl minus anion. Okay, chloride ion. Now let's check another example. This is heterolytic bond breaking. In heterolytic bond breaking, the unequal movement of electron is there. You can see here the two electrons are shifting toward the chlorine. Okay, so bonded electrons moved away from the hydrogen and they moved towards the chlorine. Okay, that's why chlorine will acquire formal negative charge and hydrogen will acquire formal positive charge. Okay, now that's why in heterolytic bond breaking, the chemical species formed are cation and anion. Why cation and anion? Because there is unequal movement of electrons. Okay, that's why one species is electron deficient and one species is electron rich. Okay, now what happened if we split the bond in homolytic manner? Let's take example. I deliberately took less electronegative atom, bromine, as compared to less electronegative in the sense its electronegativity of bromine is less than chlorine. Okay, now we can take another example, Br. Br, dibromine. Okay, Br2 is brownish red in color. Now you can see here bromine bromine single bond is there. Okay, I am going to break this bond in homolytic manner. Okay, homolytic bond breaking. Now here the electronegativity difference of these two atoms is zero. Means the electronegativity of both these being belongs to same element. The electronegativities of these two atoms same. Okay. So I am going to break this bond in homolytic manner in So I am going to move one electron towards left bromine and one electron towards the right bromine. We know that single bond means two electrons. Okay. So one electron shifts on left bromine and one electron shifts on right bromine. Okay. And hence the two electrons which are concentrated in between the two bromine atoms are now shifted towards the two bromine atoms and thereby forming a bromine free radical species. We get two bromine free radicals Br. You can see three lone pairs remain as it is and seventh electron is here on each bromine atom, thereby getting two bromine free radicals. You can write like this 2 times Br dot, or you can simply write Br dot plus Br dot. Okay, here it is dot. Dot means single unpaired electron is there on the bromine atom. Okay, so in homolytic bond breaking, there is equal distribution of bonded electrons after splitting. Okay, that's why it is homolytic bond breaking, and this is the reason in homolytic bond breaking we get two neutral species bromine free radical. Okay, you can see here two bromine free radicals are generated after homolytic bond breaking. Okay, now this is the curly arrows showing movement of single electron. One electron moves on right bromine, and one electron moves on left bromine. Okay, now we know that what are free radicals? Free radicals are chemical species containing at least one unpaired electron. Now this alkyl free radical R dot, let's take the example, this example R dot, the reaction between R dot and HBr. Here alkyl free radical reacts with hydrogen bromide. Okay, now carefully look at this. This R more properly, we can start from the methyl free radical CH3 dot. Okay, remember that in this CH3 dot the fourth valency of carbon is unsatisfied. That's why fourth electron is unpaired in CH3 dot. Okay, that is methyl free radical. So this methyl free radical share its one electron. This carbon share its one electron with hydrogen. Okay, and what is the rule? We can move the electrons toward the atom or in between the atom. If there is bond formation, then we should move the electrons in between the atom. So I move this half-headed arrow towards the hydrogen, but in between the carbon and hydrogen, it indicates that the electrons are now concentrating in between the carbon and hydrogen. Okay, so one electron from HBr bond shifts in between carbon and hydrogen, and one electron from carbon free radical methyl free radical in between carbon and hydrogen. Okay, so what will happen? The two electrons are now concentrated in between carbon and hydrogen, thereby forming one single bond. Okay, and remember that this movement of electron is in homolytic manner. Okay, you can see the half-headed arrow. That's why this bond formation is in homolytic manner. Now what about the second electron? Second electron from HBr bond. That second electron shifts on bromine. Okay, second electron of sigma bond shifts on bromine, thereby forming bromine free radical. Okay, you can see here. So in this manner we get one new bond in between carbon and hydrogen. Okay, hydrogen bromine bond breaks and we get new free radical bromine dot. Okay, so this is homolytic bond formation and bond breaking in case of reaction between methyl free radical and HBr. Now let's check another example. pH is equivalent to C6H5. Okay, phenyl ring, or you can also write like this, C6H5. Okay, you can see here 5 hydrogens are present on the benzene ring. Okay, this is called the phenyl ring. Okay, so I'm going to write the benzoyl peroxide. Peroxide linkage is oxygen oxygen linkage. Okay, C double bond O, oxygen have two lone pair of electrons. This group is benzoyl group and this linkage is peroxy linkage. Okay, so this chemical is benzoyl peroxide. Now I am going to break this benzoyl peroxide. This peroxy linkage is weak linkage. Okay, so it is easy to break this linkage by applying heat energy or light energy. Okay, we know that to break the bond we have to provide some energy. Okay, and that energy may be in the form of light or heat. So after applying light or heat, I am going to break the weakest bond, and weakest bond here is oxygen oxygen bond. Okay, I am going to shift the electron, one electron towards left oxygen and one electron towards right oxygen. So what I will get here, the two equal parts after breaking peroxy linkage of benzoyl peroxide. Okay, one single bond means two electrons, one electron shifts on left oxygen and one on right oxygen. Okay, so we get here 2 times pH C double bond O free radical. Okay, now this is unstable species. Free radicals are unstable because octet of this oxygen is incomplete. Okay, you can count the electrons and you can reveal that only 7 electrons are there around each oxygen. Okay, around this oxygen and not this oxygen. This is electron deficient oxygen. Okay, I will write again the free radical. Now you tell me, one single bond means how many electrons? 2 electrons. Okay, so 2 electrons are here, 2 electrons are from lone pairs, 2 electrons are from here lone pairs. Okay, so total 6 electrons and 7th unpaired electron is there. Okay, so only 7 electrons are there around this oxygen atom, means octet is incomplete. Okay, so what is the driving force for this? First thing, the octet is incomplete, so this oxygen try to complete its octet. Okay, and release a more stable carbon dioxide gas. Okay, so how How will you remove this carbon dioxide? Just by forming another carbon oxygen double bond. Okay, another carbon oxygen bond. Okay, so one electron is already here from oxygen, so I am going to shift this single electron from oxygen towards the in between carbon and oxygen. Second electron comes from carbon carbon bond, carbon of this carbon carbonyl and carbon of phenyl. Okay, so this electron from this bond, one electron from this bond shifts here and one electron shifts on phenyl ring. Okay, remember that we are looking at the homolytic bond breaking. Okay, and homolytic bond forming. Homolytic involve single electron migration, single electron movement. Okay, now what will happen? I will get here pH, one electron move on phenyl ring plus carbon double bond oxygen, carbon single bond oxygen. But remember that this single electron shifts in between carbon carbon and one electron came from carbon carbon bond, thereby forming second bond in between this carbon and oxygen. Okay, so we get carbon dioxide gas here. The upward arrow indicates carbon dioxide gas released. Okay, now phenyl ring, we already know what is phenyl ring, C6H5. Dot means this carbon is devoid of hydrogen. Fourth valency of this carbon is unsatisfied. That's why no hydrogen is there, no fourth bond is there, and fourth electron of carbon is unpaired. Other other three electrons shared and form bond with another carbon atom. More detailed structure is like this. You can see that all other carbons which satisfied four valencies. Okay, all other carbons have four bonds, only this carbon have three bonds and fourth electrons remain unpaired. Okay, so this is phenyl free radical. Now let's check another example of heterolytic bond splitting. Br CH3 CH3 CH3. Okay, tertiary butyl bromide. The name of this chemical is tertiary butyl bromide. It is alkyl halide. Alkyl group is tertiary butyl group and halide is bromide. Okay, now I am going to break the carbon bromine bond in heterolytic manner. We know that heterolytic bond breaking involves unequal movement of electrons. Okay, now you have to identify the bond which is susceptible towards the heterolytic splitting. Okay, now electronegativities of all carbons are less as compared to halogen, as compared to bromine. Okay, so bromine is more electronegative, so bonded electron should move towards the bromine. Okay, now what is their electronegativity? It is ability of atom or element to attract the bonded electrons toward itself. Okay, so to attract the bonded electrons toward itself, this tendency is more that is electronegativity is more in bromine. Okay, so as electronegativity of bromine is more, the electron should shift towards the bromine, and we get here CH3 CH3 positive ion and Br minus. Okay, so we get one bromide ion and one carbocation. It is tertiary butyl cation. Okay, carbocation. What is carbocation? In any chemical species, if formal positive charge is on carbon atom, then it is carbocation. Okay, now you can see in this carbocation the fourth valency of carbon is unsatisfied. Okay, carbocation is carbon of carbocation is trivalent. This is the carbon having 3 bonds only and not 4 bonds. Okay, and why it is so? Because of unequal movement of electrons. Okay, you can see how many electrons are there around this carbon atom. 4 bond means 8 electrons, so octet is complete. Okay, but here in this case only 3 bonds are there, means only 6 electrons are there. Okay, out of these 6 electrons, 3 electrons are shared by carbon. Okay, and fourth electron of carbon is absent for sharing, and as fourth electron is absent, it is devoid of one electron, and that's why one plus charge is there. Okay, now I am going to take another example of addition reaction. HBr, step by step. Okay, now I am going to write here CH3 CH2. Sometimes I write carbon and I do not write carbon, but carbon is there. Okay, plus Br minus. Okay, so how can you write the curly arrows or curved arrows to form these two species? You can see here bromine acquired formal negative charge, means hydrogen bromine bond must shift toward the bromine. That's why bromine acquire negative charge. Okay, and you can see here only 2 hydrogens are present on the left hand side carbon, but here 3 hydrogens are there. Okay, so one hydrogen must came from HBr. Okay, so you can shift this pi bond in between hydrogen and carbon, and remember that the curly arrows should be full headed. Okay, and you can see that this carbon, the pi bond 2 electrons from pi bond shifted in between this carbon atom and this hydrogen. It means there is formation, there will be bond formation between this carbon atom and this hydrogen atom. Okay, so we get CH3 here, and remember that this pi bond moved away from right hand side carbon. That's why right hand side carbon will acquire positive charge. Okay, and the reaction is balanced. Why? Because the net charge on left hand side species is equal to net charge on right hand side species. Now what is the net charge on this C2H4 ethylene molecule? Zero charge, no negative, no positive, zero charge. What is the charge on this HBr? Zero charge. Okay, now what is the net charge on right hand side species? Positive charge and negative charge, so net charge is zero. Okay, that's why charge is balanced. All atoms are there, left hand side atoms and right hand side atoms are also balanced. That's why the this step is balanced one. Okay,